So, should I just jump right? I'm still very new at this, so it's still a little awkward. Do you just want me to jump right into it?
But let's get real here. You've always been a little awkward, though, right?
I suppose you
You
were
haven't
never a huge
embraced
fan.
that yet. You got
You
to
were never a
embrace
huge fan of the first Norton news.
that. Well, here's the deal. To call it news is a little suspect. That's all. That's
I,
all I question.
I suppose we did a
Sometimes
whole.
I called it the Norton nonsense. Sometimes I called it the Norton shenanigans. You know.
Yeah, we did something. It was the Halloween parade or whatever you were doing. It was like the run, and I remember we did a whole segment on it, and it never aired. And I was like, "This isn't the greatest look for us."
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Thanks for the plug. Yep. 1 second.
All right.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All good. All right. So my first thing, going into tomorrow, first day back, what mindset do you want your students to go into? Because virtually not everyone loves it right away.
No. I mean, I feel like we've all at least embraced the situation. We know what we're dealing with here. But I know um, my mantras for my team this year are going to be flexibility and empathy. And I just think we all need to go into this with the idea that we all have to be flexible. As teachers, we have to be flexible. Um, and we all have to have empathy. You never really understand a person until you walk around in their skin and see what it's like from their perspective. And I think we all need to do that. Students need to do it with teachers. Teachers need to do it with students. Teachers need to do that with parents as well. And then we all need to do it with administrators. So there has to be a lot of flexibility and empathy flying around, because that's the only way we're all going to make it and stay sane.
For sure. And I liked you had an Instagram post. It was like some of the greatest teachers taught virtually, like Steve Irwin, Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Are you taking a different strategy to attack this year's curriculum, or are you just kind of taking it as if you were in person?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I would just start with this. I think the first thing you need to do, and I think it happens in every classroom, is you need to get to know your students first, and you need to see where they are. You need to see where they're at and check in with them and see how they're doing, because on any given day, whether it's remote or virtual or in person, you never know how people are feeling. So I have found over the course of my career, the more years that have gone by, the more I check in with people. I just, I talk to my class, how are you guys doing today? What's going on? How are you feeling? And I do that. I've always done that with my teams, but I've kind of let that leak into the classroom a lot more too. And I find that just them getting stuff off their chest, or just giving them the chance to express themselves a little bit, kind of like can help with that. But in terms of content, I don't think too much is going to be different, but you just can't teach the same way virtually. And I think we all realized that very quickly on March 13th of this year. And the last time we had students in class and the last time students were in class was 6 months ago. And that's hard to believe, but it was 6 months. And it's kind of sad too, but all we can do is make the best of it. So.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking, I'm already back at BCC and it's all online, but just for all the seniors and stuff going back, it feels like Christmas almost tomorrow to be able to see people almost in
Oh,
person. That's what I was
yeah,
just
in
thinking.
that respect, definitely. I mean, I thought, speaking of seniors, last year, oh, you don't really know what you have until it's gone, right? And I know I'm throwing a lot of cliches out there, but they're so true right now. And I could hear the seniors cheering when we were going remote and they don't have to come to school anymore. And some of my students were cheering, and I was dreading it, honestly. I was nervous and scared, and I didn't want to go remote. It's nice to be home, but it can get pretty boring fairly quickly.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people I'm a people person, so I like being with people, and most people do, I think. And I found that after like 2 or 3 weeks on our Zoom calls and checking in with students online, that they realized very quickly this is not all they thought it was going to be cracked up to be. And
Yeah.
everyone missed everyone. And I know that the seniors lost out on some some opportunities, and I felt for them wholeheartedly. Um, but yeah, I mean, your comparison to, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, like it's exciting for the kids to finally get back and be with their peers again. Even though they're sitting 6 feet apart and they're wearing masks, just being in their proximity and being able to talk to them. I mean, I had a doctor's appointment in Boston, and I've been doing virtual meets with so many of my doctors over the summer. And I met with my oncologist today, and I'm telling you the difference between like being in person with my doctor today versus like virtual. It's just that feeling of proximity, and it makes a big difference, I think. But
Absolutely.
some might disagree with me, but I like being physically close to people. So,
I totally agree. And with watching things virtually, you are a Dolphins fan. What did you think of that game Sunday?
oh, you can go there, huh? You love it. You love it. You just love it. I am I'm a glutton for punishment. I've been my whole life. I will state very quickly now that you put it out there in the stratosphere that I'm a Dolphins fan. Dan Marino was my favorite player growing up. Okay, and I loved him, and I always rooted for the Dolphins because I loved Dan Marino. He was my favorite player, and I had his jersey and all that kind of stuff. And then when he retired, I was like, all right, I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm a Bruins fan, um, and I'm a Celtics fan. I should probably be a Patriots fan. So I tried. I tried to become a New England fan, and I tried at possibly the best time you probably could become a Patriots fan, and I
For sure.
couldn't do it. I couldn't switch. I
Mm.
had already had a strong affinity and been rooting for the Dolphins all through my childhood with Dan Marino, and I couldn't. I tried. I couldn't
Mm.
switch. And don't you think that if I really wanted to and could have and should have, I would? Look at what
Absolutely.
happened between. I mean, they said last time Tom Brady was not in a Patriot uniform, and this was on Sunday when he started for Tampa Bay, was 1999. Can you believe that?
It's
So
crazy.
don't you think in 1999, the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era, all the championships, all the wins, don't you think I would have joined them if I could or wanted to?
Absolutely.
Instead,
It's
instead
respectable.
I just took the whipping and the beating and the beatdowns
Mm.
of the Dolphin that the Dolphins take year in and year out, and I just took it because
There is some hope with Tua now.
yeah, a little bit. We need to get him in there.
Absolutely. And several books I read in your class, I still reference to this day, like Of Mice and Men and Lord of the Flies.
Yes,
If there wasn't a book currently in the curriculum that you thought should be, do you have one in mind?
all 4 years or just like any year.
Yeah, just anything in mind that you think should be taught in schools.
Oh boy. Oh,
Maybe a couple if you have a couple in mind.
yeah. Let me come back to that one. Let me
Okay.
think about that as we go through.
Absolutely. And Mikey Belcher is hyping up a tennis match between you two. How are you looking forward to that?
Since when is this
Tennis
is
match.
news to me?
Golf. I meant golf. I meant
I
golf.
was gonna say tennis. I will smoke that kid. I know he
maybe
can.
we do a tennis match.
All right, you and I can play. I was gonna say Mikey Belcher. He tennis.
a
I'd
quick
love to
brain
play
fart.
tennis with him.
That's my
No,
bad.
but him and I have played golf before, and we were on the same team in one of the fundraisers we did a few years back at the TPC, and it was awesome. And um, he carried us. He's a great golfer. So I am not that good. I love it. I love playing the sport, but I'm awful. But I do love it, and I've only been playing for about 5 years now, maybe. And I'm getting a little better, but eesh, I do love playing though. But he can smoke me in golf though.
Yeah. And the English department, they've had numerous famous costumes throughout Halloween and the hallway day. I forget what the hallway day is called. Do you have a favorite costume you had? And is there any? Okay.
I'll get you this one. Now, keep in keep in mind that my wife hates this, and I am not allowed to wear this around the house.
Okay.
Otherwise, I will be outside in the driveway sleeping in the car. But this is a very famous one that I
I
wore.
didn't
Do you
know
know?
that was you. That
You
is crazy.
didn't?
No.
Wow. Yeah, it's the Demogorgon, man. That was the Demogorgon.
That's awesome.
During Senior Things, they changed it from Stranger Things to Senior Things, and it was the hallway decorating for seniors.
I always
That's
love
my
that. Just
that
the
was my
lights
favorite
covering and
costume.
stuff.
Yep.
And have you always liked running? And for people looking to get into running, what would you have to say to them?
No one likes running. So
Really?
no, I don't know. Here's the deal. I played soccer like all the way through elementary school, and then one of my friends, her dad was going to a road race one day when we were in like fourth grade, and he was like, "Do you guys want to go?" And I said, "Sure." So we went, and it was like my first race ever was a 5 mile road race, which is long for like a fourth grader.
For sure.
And I did it, and I did well in my age category, and for some reason I like enjoyed it. Um, and then I still played soccer all the way through middle school. I played like Taunton youth soccer, but I started running a lot more, and there was like a middle school cross country team or whatever, and I found that just personally, I had a lot of energy and I had a lot of endurance, like just natural endurance. And you can always build your endurance or whatnot, but I had just natural endurance. I could just keep going and going and going. Um, and it just kind of I just transitioned. And then by the time I got to high school, I had to make a decision whether I was going to play soccer um, or run. And I think I chose to run. In hindsight, it was definitely the right decision for me. Um, and when I got to high school, I had a pretty decent coach, and he kind of molded me into where I needed to be. So I'm glad I chose that route, but it's not the most friendly and nice sport all the time. It can be very grueling and tiring, and
For sure.
sometimes you just got to drag yourself out there and get out there. But so I respect anybody who chooses the sport because I know it's not easy. Everybody always says our sport is every other sport's punishment. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
if you do something wrong at basketball or soccer or football or whatever, guess what you're doing? You're running.
Oh yeah.
Get on the line. You're running. Like it's a punishment in other sports. So I don't know, but I've always enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, in karate, I had to do 3 miles under 30 minutes when I was preparing
Yep.
for my black belt, and it's just I don't have a runner's body, and I just remember it was some of the hardest training I ever did. And once I cleared that, it was just the beginning, but I felt like I already got my black belt because that's done, and then
It's hard. It's very hard, man. We've had athletes join cross country just to get to that point because they wanted to get the time limit for their black belt. I think what's the name of the place in Norton?
personal best.
Personal Best.
Yeah,
Yes. Yep.
and then you're a big fan of Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian. The season 2 trailer just came out today. What are you expecting out of the next season?
So I just watched the trailer. This is so crazy. I was in the waiting room at MGH earlier today, and I watched the trailer. And you asked me about it today. That's so crazy. Um, I am super excited. The trailer, they didn't give you much in the trailer, but I do
Nah,
like that. I think I like the relationship between the Mandalorian and technically, it's not Baby Yoda.
the
It
child.
is the child. In this, even though he looks like a Baby Yoda, um, it, it's uh, it's not Baby Yoda because it's a different time frame.
Mm.
And some things that have always confused me is this: Did you know in season one? Do you know how old the child is in season one?
He was 50, right?
50 years old. That's right.
Yeah.
And what race is is this? What race is it? What race is Yoda in this child?
Yeah, they seem to be the same one. I don't know the exact name if there is one, but
It's a trick question. There in the entire Star Wars canon, there is no, like, you can't find, they don't ever say like what race Yoda and
really.
the child is. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I've always that like kind of I'm like that's a somebody's got to come up with the name of the race of that alien,
For
you
sure.
know?
Are you a fan of the movies too?
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I will say, it took me a lot of years in life. I didn't grow up with it. I didn't watch it in my 20s. It took me until my 30s before I really got into it. And I've since then watched it twice over. And now with Disney Plus and all this other stuff, you can watch it as many times as you want and do do binge watches and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super into it now. And there's so many layers to Star Wars that, I mean,
Absolutely.
on the surface, it's great. Kind of like, I won't get didactic with you because you already took my class, but kind of like, Lord of the Flies, you can read it as a simple adventure story, or you can read the whole thing as an allegory, and everything in that, everyone and everything and every action on the island is symbolic of something. Do you
Mm.
remember that?
I tried to jump. I remember you were talking about that, and I was like, "All right, we're doing a PowerPoint," and I tried, and there was like a bus in Piggy's dream or something, and I had this whole theory behind Piggy's dream, and then I remember you going, "I think it was just a bus."
Because you guys were stretching it so thin.
Yeah,
And I forced you to do that. Anyway, but yeah, I love Star Wars. I love it. It's
for
great.
sure. And then in pop culture, if I was anyone, I don't know if you've seen Shrek. I think I'd be Donkey. If you had a certain character that you think you would be, do you know who?
In pop culture,
Yeah.
do you know the show Twin Peaks?
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's super obscure, so I'm not going to go there. I love it. I'm obsessed with it, and my colleagues will tell you the same.
Is it
I've
on
seen I've seen
Netflix
it
or
five
somewhere?
times over. So the original series is on Netflix. It was season one was 1989,
Oh,
long
geez.
time ago. But I didn't come on to Twin Peaks until about 3 or 4 years ago. And then season two was in 1990. And then 25 years later, Showtime did Twin Peaks: The Return in 2017. And
Really?
it's
That's why I've heard
phenomenal,
about
but
it.
it's so weird. It's so cryptic and symbolic and weird. And most people that watch it, they're like, "Why did you recommend that to me? I have no idea what that's about. You're crazy. That was the worst thing I've ever seen."
Mm.
But there's so many layers to it. But anyway, that was I would have said a character from there, but I think it's going to be too obscure. But
What's the character? I'm gonna
special
look it up
agent,
afterward.
special agent Dale Cooper.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look it up afterward, and then if I see a comparison, then I'll put a picture or something, right?
All right. He's super quirky. He has a lot of energy. I love him. I love him.
For sure. And did you happen to get Mr. Smith anything for Father's Day this year?
Oh my God. You know that story? How we were out and somebody was like, "Oh my God, this is so cute. You and your dad are out." We were at what we were doing?
Dave Matthews Band, right? Or no?
We went to Dave Matthews Band together, but we were chaperoning Six Flags for the seniors, and this was like
Oh, I
maybe
do.
4 years ago. And we went over to the balloon game where you shoot the water gun and you try to fill the balloon or whatever.
Right.
And the girl, Mrs. Taylor was there, Mrs. Costa was there, and they heard it, and oh my goodness, they've never let him hear it down. And that's why I call him dad all the time. He used to get perturbed by it, but now he likes it. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
I love
But
him.
anyway, yeah, that's
He's a
the
maniac.
story
That
behind it.
that zip line thing he's done before. I can't believe he's an enigma.
Yes, he is. I don't want to say too much, but
In a good way.
he is an enigma. What a great vocab word, by the way. He is on the surface a very docile, meek, humble man. But then when you really get to, or like you go to like Six Flags with him and ride on a roller coaster, he doesn't yell, but he's crazy. He's like not meek. He's
Yeah.
still humble. He's one of the most humble guys you'll ever meet. But he's crazy. He wants to go on Goliath, and he wants to go backwards on some rides. Some of the rides I just would not do with him. I said no way, and he's like, "Come on, son, let's do this." And I just and then you like that zip line thing at the top of the Fox Tower at Foxwoods. He went right off of that thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh,
And speaking of Dave Matthews, you've been a number of times to them. How many
yeah.
times do you know exactly?
Yes, I do know. Do I have to say?
You don't have to say. Why do you like them so much, or him? I don't know if it's a person or just a band.
Both. I mean, it's both. I think it was my first ever concert, and it used to be called Great Woods before it changed names 4 times since then.
Hmm. My grandma
And I
still
went
calls
to
it Great
Great
Woods.
Woods. I was in high school, and it was my first concert ever. Um, but like, I mean, like big concert. I had grown up going to like bluegrass festivals with my family and all that kind of stuff. And there was, there's a smaller festivals are different, but um, yeah, it was my first big concert, and I was blown away. I think at the size of the band, this I had liked them before I went there, like their music or whatever on CDs or whatnot. But I think just hearing them live after playing their music for a couple of years, in my car and whatnot, and then I just loved it. They were huge, and um, we I just never stopped going. I went as I couldn't get enough. It was a it was like an overindulgence, and it was the more ice cream you gave me, the more I wanted it. So
Mm.
I have been a lot of times. In college, I was almost like a groupie. Anytime, if he was anywhere in the Northeast, I was going with one of my friends.
That's awesome. I
And
totally.
I've been a fan club member since 1999.
Really.
And that there's thousands of members in the fan club. I was the 32nd member of the fan club.
That's
So
awesome.
I
You're kind of
always
famous.
get I always get first or second row.
Is
And
that why you
some of
keep
my
going back?
colleagues will corroborate that because they've been there. And
Is
I
that
got I got Mr. Smith right in the front.
is that why you keep going back because you get such good seats?
Not really. Sometimes I like to just sit in the seat because now they have like the pit. They call it the pit area where it's like every people just like congregate and you can walk right up to the stage or whatever. But sometimes I like to get seats. My wife likes to sit in the seat sometimes, so I'll get the seat. You
Mm.
know, but I kind of miss concerts right now, don't you?
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
I had I had like 4 or 5 concerts lined up for this summer, and one by one they just all
Yeah.
got canceled. And don't get me wrong, we saved some money and whatnot, but you know,
Mm. It looks like some things are coming back in a way, and I don't know how
yeah,
safe it is, but you see places trying where they're like huddles of people and then like a 6 foot gap, and there's
yeah,
definitely a lot of contamination still going on, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. We got to be safe. So, but I get it. Yeah, we need to get rid of this thing so we
Absolutely.
can get back to normal. But yeah,
And are you playing fantasy this year? And are there any players you have on the lookout?
I am doing fantasy this year. I'm in a family league, um, and you're not going to be happy with my first draft pick. Although we didn't do too bad last night. Derrick Henry was my first draft pick,
Okay. I
and
went
I think
Kamara.
I had like 6th or 7th pick overall or something. And based on the way he finished last year in the postseason, he was unstoppable. So I said I'm going to take a flyer on this guy and see how it goes. But I got smoked by my sister-in-law this weekend.
Really?
Rough start. Rough
Yeah.
start. She
It's
got
the
high points. She scored almost 200. It was all of her players just went off. It was crazy.
That's about Derrick Henry. It scared me off because he had so many carries last season. Where I just at that point with running backs, like there's a chance they do well, but I was like, this might be a headache, and I was just
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
can
want.
slump. They can slump big time after a big seat. We've seen it so many times. So yeah,
There's a
just
chance
hoping
though.
that hot hand continues.
Yeah. And then in a car ride, yeah, you're probably gonna say Dave Matthews Band. You have to listen to any album, and you can't listen to anything else. Do you have an album you would listen to?
Yes. We Banjo 3. It's an Irish band, but they're like hard hitting. So the best analogy I can give you is like Mumford and Sons, but they're like hard hitting like Irish music. They're good. They're like bluegrassy Irish, and I love them.
I'll have
I've
to
seen
check
them
them
a
out.
few
I haven't
times
heard.
live, and they were unbelievable.
And then, do you want to go back to the book one, or my last question is, do you have a favorite quote? So we can do either or. There's 2 left.
I think you know my favorite quote.
That Atticus Finch, you never know a person until you step in their shoes.
I don't get that painted on my wall for nothing, my friend.
I literally, I'm sitting in your class and I am looking at
You looked at it all year.
the Bree Mead. Well, it was the very end
Oh,
of my year.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
when Bree Meadis did the mural. Yep.
it's an awesome mural, by the way.
We
And
sat there for a while, and she was like, "What do you want for a quote?" And I knew it was going to be from TCAM, but Um, yeah, it's the only, with everything that's, going, especially right now, it could not be more applicable in life than what is going on right now
Mm,
and what happened in my life this year. So, you know,
for sure.
uh, anyway.
Do you have a favorite book? You want me? I can make up some more questions if you want to think about the book question.
We've been going and going. I'm looking around at my bookshelves over here and over here. See if we have so many that are so many great books that are in the
Mm,
curriculum. I would like maybe the Sports Gene. I love that book. We we're constantly trying to come up with novels or maybe nonfiction too, because we need to do more nonfiction, but something that is more engaging to students in today's world.
mm,
Um, and maybe the Sports Gene, because it talks about like where sports come from and why we compete in sports, and the greater meaning behind sports. And it's, you hear it all the time. It's not always about winning and losing. Um, it's it's what sports do for us in society. And I'm not rah rah sports are everything. That's the biggest thing for me. I've never been like that, but I've always been, you know, pro sports and pro athletes.
mm.
Um, so I would maybe say the Sports Gene.
I got you. And you were
Yeah.
talking about nonfiction. I just,
Yeah.
Steve-O, one of
Oh
my
my.
favorite books. Also, another book that you might be familiar to you, The Great Gatsby.
You need to return that. That's a school book.
I found it in my
Oh,
old bag.
I'm reporting you right now.
I couldn't believe it was because it was junior year, so I threw the bag in like the attic or something, and I was going through it this summer, and I couldn't believe that I still had it. That is unbelievable.
Did they make you pay for it before you graduated?
No,
I'm
I
I am not going to ask you who your teacher was and who was responsible for keeping track of that book.
I don't even remember.
But if it was me, you would have never gotten away with that.
Miss Taylor, this has been awesome. The tennis match, is that at all possible?
Absolutely. It's funny. My oncologist today said, "You're cleared. You can start jogging if you want to, not need to, but if you want to." And I mean, one of the first things I plan on doing. I love playing tennis with my wife, and she's really good. She played in high school and stuff, and I love hitting the ball around with her. And I would totally be down for that.
That's awesome. And would it be
And the
possible
weather's so
for another
beautiful right
episode?
now. Let's do it. Huh?
That's possible for a segment?
Us playing tennis is a segment? That's
Yeah.
not news.
We get a cameraman. People want to see it. Trust me.
Ay, ay, ay.
If not, I'm down to do it without a camera, with either or.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm in.
We'll be in touch.
All right, my friend.
All right. Have a nice night.
Good luck. You too, man.